going on, everybody? Welcome to Tax Deed Wolf Academy. I'm your host, Joseph Griffin, the Tax Deed Wolf. And today we have a very special guest. This man is the Prince of Ohio right here, Kareem Robinson. Yo, thanks for stopping by, man.
Man, thanks for having me, man. We're right here in New York. By the grace of God, came on out here, got an invite from the man himself, the Tax D Wolf. Here to give y'all some fire, man. We're not here to kind of do no fluff and stuff like that. We want some actionable steps coming right back to you on this.
Yo, awesome. So I appreciate you, y'all. So yeah, we are live right now in New York. Y'all know I'm normally in Florida, but we had to do some things, man. We had to travel and we had to make this happen. So
Yeah,
real quick, Kareem, for the people who do not know you, tell us who you are and what you do.
absolutely. Who's Kareem, right? I'm 26 years old. I'm from a place called Upper Darby, which sits right on the border of West Philadelphia. Look, man, I'm a virtual wholesaler. I find deeply discounted properties for cash buyers all throughout the country, right? They might be kind of subsidized from certain kind of, I'd say, cutthroat markets like New York, the coastal cities, California, things like that. And they're looking to have their dollar kind of stretch a little bit further. So I found myself a niche in the Midwest in a town called Toledo, Ohio. I'll wholesale as well, like in Akron, Cleveland, but Ohio is like really my bread and butter. The cool thing is I never even stepped foot into that state itself. So I'm doing it all 100% virtual, never seen the properties. I'm flipping contracts, starting to build up my own portfolio. So for me, chapter one looks like wholesaling. Chapter two, for me, I'm starting to cherry pick those deals I have coming in to build up my own passive income.
Okay, awesome. So he said a lot of things there. So for anybody who does not understand wholesaling, what would be your best way to clarify or give them a good definition of what wholesale is?
Right. To put it very simple, you're just being the middleman in the real estate transaction.
Okay.
Right? You're talking to the seller, find a problem, you get them under contract for a certain price to purchase that house, right? Let's just say it's 50,000. You don't need the 50,000. You don't need the credit or the cash or ever take ownership of the house, but you find your buyer in that area, maybe a seasoned investor, he's been doing this for 10, 15 years. He knows what areas he's investing in. He's like, you know what? I'll take this off your hands. You're marketing that house, you're negotiating whatnot. You're like, the best I could do is 63,000. You just made yourself that difference between the 63 and the 50, and that's all take home.
Mm,
That's all
13. So you can make money without even having money.
without even having money.
Without even having money. So you can literally go find deals, get them under contract, sign. What form is that?
The form of the agreement itself, or
Yeah, purchase. So
yeah,
purchase and
it's
sale
very
agreement.
straightforward.
So
Yeah,
sign purchase and sale agreement, get it under contract, and then go find a buyer and just assign it to them.
yeah, straight like that. Just two pieces of forms. Like you said, purchase agreement with the seller, assignment agreement to the buyers. No cash, credit, or licenses needed. Like you just jump into this game. There's opportunities out there today.
Oh man, that's crazy. So look, y'all, the reason I even bought Kareem on the show is because we've already done like 10,
Yeah,
I think 10 in like the past 6 months.
yeah.
So this is crazy. We've been doing our thing. So y'all definitely should be tapping in. Now, why tell me a little bit about, you said you came up in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Why did you even get into real estate in the first place?
Yeah, man, that's such a good question. So I'll take it back. This all for me started in 2021, right? At the time, I'm completely transparent. I'm unemployed. I'm washing cars, cash under the table type of deal, right? And I always knew that celebrities, athletes, people that of high success all have one thing in common is real estate. So I always kind of had that desire for real estate, but I was the only way I knew how to get into it is like save up your 20% for a 200K house. Like it's gonna take a lifetime to save that up. And I felt like I was kind of outside of the game, right? I couldn't get in. There wouldn't be an easy way into it. Just like a podcast like this, 2021, I saw a man by the name Mint215, which is my mentor today, talking about you're just flipping contracts. You're flipping your rights to purchase that agreement, and therefore you're getting into the game. You're building up the knowledge and the capital to start funding your own deals. So, boom, 2021 took mentorship. 2 months later, got my first deal. Once you actually kind of do that first deal, you realize how tangible and how real that is.
Mhm.
So here we are today, 18,
Man.
18 months later.
18 months later. So I thought you were going somewhere else when you were like, I'm about to be real honest with you. I thought I was about to say, so I was slinging dope. I'm glad you didn't go there though. I'm glad you didn't go there. So you get into wholesaling, you got connected with a mentor that's
Yeah.
powerful. So now fast forward 2 years later, just to show you how quickly things can happen. 2 years later, now you were an instructor with Tax Deed Wolf Academy now, right?
Absolutely.
Yo, awesome. How's that been?
Oh, it's been great, man. It's you really feel how special that is when you give the class and it is an interactive like Zoom meeting and stuff like that, but you're not like shaking. It's still a virtual type of like presence, right? But like yesterday we were at a network event and had 2, 3 people come up to me like, "Yo, like what you taught me, like I'm actually out here making deals happen now. Like you built me, helped me build that confidence to talk to sellers and things like that." So seeing people in person and like actually having an impact, like that's the stuff that's like better than money to me. Like
Mhm.
it's out here actually making a change and what I'm giving is actually valuable.
Okay, so for anybody who is looking to get started in wholesaling,
Hmm.
tell us a little bit about some of the struggles
Oh
that you faced, like in the beginning, like your first deal, like trying to get properties under contract and everything. What are some of the struggles that you
man,
faced?
there's plenty of pitfalls as you kind of maneuver a deal. No two deals will ever be the same. So for my first one being brand new, right? Like just the simple things, right? Like just me being a virtual wholesaler, I'm not in person with this person or
Mhm.
with the seller. Like how do I build up confidence and trust with somebody that's 10, 11 hours away from me, right? So what you say is matter. You have to be sharp on the phones. You can't come off as like a sales type of person. So an issue I was having is just not be familiar with the area. I'm like, hey, my first deal was in Akron, Ohio. I'm like, hey, I'm calling about your property in Arkin, Ohio. And he immediately corrected me. And it diminished that I was a real estate investor in that area if I can't even say the name, right? So it's just certain things like that that in the moment discouraged me a lot. But I'm just happy I just kept on pushing. Like this is small things like that when you're brand new feels like a big like level of fear, but that fear is not real, right?
So when you first got started, how long did it take you to do your first deal?
So I did mentorship fall 2021, 2 months later, and I got my first deal in January under contract. And then it wound up I find a buyer maybe 4 weeks after that point. And it funded like end of February.
So 2, 3 months.
Yeah, 2, 3 months, about 60 days.
Wow, yo, 2, 3 months.
Yeah.
So, man, that's powerful because you did that pretty quickly. To be
Mhm.
honest, a lot of times people don't get that first deal that soon.
Yeah.
So, what advice, like, what are some of the things that you learned with your pitfalls? What are some things that you can tell the people who are getting into wholesaling and they're experiencing, some of these same pitfalls, they're experiencing some of these same life issues that we
Right.
all face? What's some advice you would give to them?
Yeah, so there's no meter. Like you shouldn't have a deal by this certain time. Everyone has a different timeline. So
Mhm.
don't compare yourself with what other people are doing out there in the field. Whether they're brand new, years into it, it can really kind of get into your mental and stop you from what you need to be doing. My plain advice, man, is no amount of books, courses, events will ever get you more prepared than experience itself.
Mhm.
So just get out there, bang out these phone calls every day. For me, working a 9 to 5 at the time. I'm calling. I'm off of work 4:30, 5 o'clock rolls around. I'm
Mhm.
calling 100 people a day. Like that was my commitment to myself. I don't care whether the call goes great, if it goes
Cool.
bad. 100 calls a day. That's what's going to give me my experience to build out the skill of wholesaling, right? The acquisition skills of getting the property under contract. Like once you lock that in, talking to sellers and negotiating those numbers, you have like an incredible amount of value that you can provide for the marketplace.
So y'all are gonna love me for this because we're turning this podcast into a master class right now. So now he's giving all the gems today. So what I want to know is somebody has made the decision to get into wholesaling. They've possibly reached out to you now because they need a mentor, right?
Right.
They need some help. What are some of the ways that you actually look for leads?
So for me, again, virtual, not seeing these properties ever in person, it's a little bit different than like actually being in the market and door knocking. For me, I skip trace public data. So
Mm.
it's public data with the county saying that, John Smith owns 123 Main Street. He bought it in 2010. And then I'm not the one doing the data entry. That's not my specialty, right? So I have a guy on Fiverr, and that's what he does. Like, hey, $200, I'll
A
give you
VA.
well, not even a VA. So he's also overseas, but
Okay.
I'm paying for his service
Okay.
to provide me data so I can plug it into my system. So the data I'm pulling is about 2,000, 3,000 like potential sellers. Like they're not saying yes yet. We have no idea who they are yet. And the only way you go through that, you have to filter out. You got to call these lists. It's all a numbers game.
Mhm.
Out of 2,000, 3,000 people, you should expect 2 to 3 deals only. It's a 10% rule, right? So out of 1,000, 10% of that, that's 100 people should pick up. The 100 people that picks up, 10 people should be interested. Hey, I need to sell. The 10, maybe a few gets under contract, but one should definitely close out of 1,000. So just think about the amount of like volume that you have to filter through to get that first deal. But to answer your question, I buy a list of skip trace, skip trace leads and whatnot, and I sit there and cold call and text them. I have an assistant now, so she's doing like all the front end work of cold calling and texting. Anybody that needs to sell or wants to sell, that's either a warm lead or a hot lead, I'll get on the phone and I'm closing the deal with them.
Awesome. So, y'all, I said VA, and I forget sometimes. Everybody might not understand what we're talking about here. So, VA is a virtual assistant.
Virtual
So,
assistant.
this virtual assistant, I'm assuming. So, you said she's doing the calling, the initial
Yeah.
calling. She's turning these cold leads now into hot leads
Yes.
for you, or warm leads at least.
Yeah.
So, by the time you get on the phone with them, it's a much more simple process because you
Right.
already know they're at least interested in selling the property.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, I'm walking into it, just knowing that they have a problem, right?
Mhm.
Because as a wholesaler, you can't look at people as like a transaction. You can't put a dollar sign on a person. They
Mhm.
have a real problem, and you need to come in there as a problem solver. Because why else would they sell you the house for a discounted rate?
Mhm.
They could just go on the market, and those problems range for so many different ways.
Okay, so when you what type of software are you using as far as like finding leads and anything that the people
Yeah.
can actually go look at?
Absolutely. If you want a freeway right now, like if you watching this maybe like August 5th or something on a Wednesday, like oh, I just want to do this now. I don't have a lot of money in my pocket to buy systems and what because what you put in is what you get out. But a freeway right now, Zillow for sale by owner.
Mm,
Everybody has Zillow. It's a free app. You click it over to the filters tab for sale by owner. These are all actual sellers that listed their properties that, hey, I'm an investor. I got too many rehabs going on. I need to sell my
mhm.
house. They got their name, number, address. You give them a call.
Okay.
The goal as a wholesaler is getting in front of the sellers and just talk. You can't assume what their problem is or the phone call might go this way. You don't know until you get on that phone with that seller, identify a problem, be a good listener, and empathize with them.
Awesome,
That's a free
awesome.
resource right there for
So I'm
you.
gonna give y'all some game really quick, right? Because y'all know me, the Tax D Wolf. Now I do some wholesaling. We've done a few deals. We're doing our thing. We're doing our thing this year. So one way that you can find leads, and a lot of people don't talk about this, but if you know, in the U.S., whenever you don't pay those property taxes, those property owners are going to lose that property. So what you can do is you can go to your county clerk of court and look for that list, that list of people that have defaulted on their property taxes, and you can reach out to them. Here's the thing: a lot of people just wait and they go to auction, right? They go to auction. That's all they know.
Right.
They don't know that they can approach these property owners before the auction and negotiate a deal with them. A lot of times they think they need good credit, they think they need money so they can actually buy the house, but you don't have to buy the house, right? If you're flipping the house anyway, why are you buying it? Why not just wholesale it?
Wholesale.
So I'll get it under contract, $5,000, right? And then I'll go find an end buyer that's willing to pay $20,000. So my equitable interest now is 15K. We're literally making money from wholesaling just like that. So I just gave y'all a play. It's not about how many books you read, though. It's about how many pages you apply. So take action. Like, seriously, take action. Don't just listen to this stuff and just let it go out the window. So I'm a firm believer that what you tune into, you turn into.
Right.
Right? If you want to be a real estate investor, you need to start like eating, crapping, and breathing real estate. So what are some things that you do to stay tuned in and focused on the agenda?
Yeah, man, absolutely. For me, something that was very pivotal, because coming from the corporate world into entrepreneurship and real estate for the first time 18 months ago, it's very uncomfortable amount of change going on. With that being said, something that was pivotal for me, reading books. Reading books, and I'm not an avid reader by any means, but my mentor Mid 215, we had a book club going on. So every other week or so, or every other month, we'll just read a book together and discuss it on like real estate terms and whatnot. Um, but I'm telling you, like you find so many gems in reading a book. Like there's so
Mhm.
much past wisdom and like human history that applies to today's world. So for me, something that really moved the needle was reading books. So like a good one, The Science of Getting Rich. It's not thick by any means, very short book, but it's so impactful. That one really sparked something in me that's still within me today that just keep going hard. So reading books, having mentorship, I'm telling you, like you have to invest to avoid these pitfalls, right?
Mhm.
You can go on YouTube University for years, 2 years, and it's gonna cost you a lot of money. Life will charge you for not paying for that information up front. Of
Mhm.
course, vet out your mentor and whatnot, but I came across a great one on my first one, and I learned the blueprint start to finish on how to wholesale real estate. Just took that, boom, started applying it.
Mm.
So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Just being in proximity with people too, going out to these events and shaking hands.
So community, man, mentorship, community that can back you up, the contracts that you need,
Yeah,
all the questions that you have, you get on live calls. So vet them, right? That was key. He said vet them. Don't just listen to what everybody has to say and just, oh yeah, they're the best in the world because they sound good, right?
right.
Scammers sound good. Scammers sound very, very good. So go to Google, right? Type in their name, type in their business, see if that business is even still active. See if there's any negative reviews, go check out their social media. So you really have to vet these people. Now, Mitt 215, he's official, man. I know Mitt personally. He's official. He's killing it. And
Yeah.
his mentees are doing awesome things. So we talked about the book recommendations. What about on the phone? Is there any apps that you're on
Oh yeah.
where people can learn and connect and network?
For connect with me or like a phone to talk to
Like
sellers.
what as far as what you're tuning into, like are there any
Oh yeah, big time Clubhouse. So
oh
I met this man on a social media app. It's called Clubhouse. It's great. It's free. You get in there. It's free game every single day. And I'm literally I'm telling you like I made the most money in my business connecting with him on a free social media app. Like I could have not been on that app trying to figure it out, trying to figure out my buyers list. Not it's a great way to network with people around the country.
mhm,
Like being in person is very important, but if you're in your local area like Arkansas, you're not connected with people from New York, California that's
mhm.
out here really shifting things in this market. Clubhouse, I highly recommend, couldn't recommend it enough. It's literally a free app. Jump on there. I found him in the Mortgage Syndicate. That's like the club that's just called, and they host a room about real estate every single morning, Monday through Friday.
Awesome, man. So, man, that's fire. So, y'all go download Clubhouse app right now and go ahead and first follow Tax D Wolf. Okay, that's the most important person that you need to follow. Then go ahead and follow my man here, Kareem Robinson.
Yeah.
So, as we wrap this thing up, how can the people get in touch with you?
Absolutely, man. Best way is through Instagram. You can follow me at KR Direct LLC. You'll just see me with a selfie smiling, pretty straightforward, right? I'm an open book right now. My main focus is like putting in work every single day in the business. I'm not somebody to talk about the business. I want to be in the business, going through problems. Like I want to find the problems and figure that out to get me more prepared. So just shoot me a DM if like, hey, I don't know how to kind of navigate this certain deal I'm working on. Reach out to me. My time might be a little bit limited, but I will get back to you. And I'm a firm believer of pouring into people, so I'll just pour into you. Like, just shoot me a message. Like, I'm still building my social media presence, anyways.
Mhm.
I'm always a giving person, so.
Okay, awesome. So, is there any any last words of advice that you want to give anybody?
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, like, we, time is our most limited resource that everybody knows, right? You can make $1 million and lose it. It's gonna hurt, but you can make $2 million back once you kind of understand how to do that. But time is one thing we don't ever get back. One of the worst things, man, you could do is like kind of have analysis paralysis, right? Like you'll overload yourself with so much information. Sometimes it's a lot of garbage information, and it's tough to kind of navigate that. Um, I'm telling you, like, just take the tangible information. Tap in with Tax D Wolf. You can tap in with me. Whoever's like just legit down to earth people, and take what they're trying to give you the play for and just run with it. Just start applying it in the world, and you'll be surprised how you build up that momentum. You get that snowball effect. And I'm only speaking from experience. Like this literally happened to me. Like I was brand new, just learning information. I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Just take boom. It all starts with talking to the seller, right? Boom, talk to this guy. Went that way. Just keep repetition, put in the reps, and that will snowball you into that success. And then you kind of add more, you learn more, and you overlap those layers
Mhm.
of success. I like to call it. So
So he touched on a key point, y'all. Analysis paralysis. If you're driving and you're behind the wheel, you got somebody on the passenger side, you got two people in the back. One person says go right, the other one says go left, and the other one says stop. Right? What are you gonna do? Most people will freeze up.
yeah,
They'll literally freeze up.
yeah,
So that's why it's so important to connect with one person at a time. Focus,
hmm
take that game, and like you said, apply that action. Don't just keep on getting this knowledge and then never actually take action and do anything. So now stands for no opportunity wasted. Take action now. If you really want to change your life, you can do wholesaling, right? You
yeah.
can do tax deed investing. There are so many things out there that you can do in order to win in real estate. And guess what? Did you need a license to get started with wholesaling?
Nothing, no
Did you need
license.
good credit?
Nope,
Did you need anything?
not a single thing. I'm telling you, like just your mouthpiece. I like to call, just having your wit and I'm telling you, just identify a problem. Like you get paid by solving people's problems. Like I'm telling you, I'm talking to you right now through the camera, just focus on that. Solve a problem, you get paid for it, man.
Solve people's problems. That's how you're going to be successful in this industry. And you're also going to be successful with collaborating, building a team. It's going to be very hard to do this by yourself.
Yeah.
So thank you, man. I'm so glad to have you come by, man. You took a nice little drive to get up here, right?
I took the train, man.
It
I
took the
was
train,
hanging
man. He came
out.
up here so he can drop some gems on y'all. So
Yeah.
definitely go ahead and follow Kareem Robinson on all social media platforms. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video. I'm going to see you on the next episode.